The findings from the Gender Assessment Report are commensurate with the community outreach focus of the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the lived experiences of numerous families. The report highlights data produced from the Bureau of Gender Affairs and Statin, which show that 1 in every 4 Jamaican women experience physical violence from a male partner. It also shows that young women, 15 to 24 years, are vulnerable to sexual violence, and this is among girls/women with little to no education and who live with their partners from an early age. It also identified that victims/survivors of GBV and their children tend to experience worse educational and health outcomes in their lifetime. A very practical response to the gender-based violence prevalence data is the development of the draft National Shelter Strategy. Through the implementation of the strategy, we launched what we call the Continuum of Care for Survivors of Gender-Based Violence. And this clearly outlines the roles and responsibilities of the participating organizations or agencies to ensure the seamless process for care of the victims. A memorandum of understanding was signed between specific ministries, departments, and agencies to aid in this initiative. So from the moment we get the call through to taking that victim or survivor to a safe place, there is a seamless pathway between the agencies and the entities that are involved in that process. The Bureau of Gender Affairs is in partnership with the Spotlight Initiative to coordinate the implementation of the National Shelter Strategy. The first national government-owned and operated shelter in the Northeast region and a regional shelter in the Eastern region to provide rescue, psychosocial support, restoration, and skills building. The next would be renovation and retrofitting of 1 additional property to serve as a Western Regional Shelter. And I'm really happy to announce that the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has allocated $50 million to complete the renovation and retrofitting of this regional shelter in the West for victims and survivors of gender-based violence. And we should have that shelter ready sometime late this year. Revision of the Domestic Violence Act to provide increased support to victims and survivors. That's another area, and I am happy to report that we signed off on the final drafting of the amendments to the Domestic Violence Act, and we will be taking it to Parliament in the first quarter of the 2023-24 fiscal year. So we will have those amendments come into effect early this year. We're going to be ramping up the community outreach through Partnership for Empowerment initiative to provide financial support to NGOs and community advocacy groups as partners to address GBV. And so far, we have 16 partners across the island, and they also form that network that help us to ensure that we can protect our women. Development of knowledge products on gender-based violence is another area. So we have prepared information in Braille for the blind and voice training for empowerment and self-efficacy skills. We'll also establish gender-based violence helplines. The helpline unit is actually up and running, and the training of social workers and counselors.